Pounders, it's playoff time, and that means it's mitten time. We have the drop of the mitten 4 tonight. Perfect timing, one would say. Mitten 4, and it's gonna be a little different advance rates in the first round. You're gonna get 3 out of 6, and that's super important. We have to keep this in mind when drafting. Now, are we more willing to do maybe like 0 QB type stuff? Or obviously, we're going to be focusing more Baltimore, San Fran, teams that aren't playing in the first round, advancing those types of teams. Going to be heavily focused on that in the mitten 4 specifically. Now, some of those other tournaments, you want to look at the advance rates 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6. It's going to change your strategy in different teams that you should be targeting in these. But we should be looking at Underdog dropped this earlier today, NFL playoffs if the favorites win out, right? And you just want to keep in mind these different brackets, teams that we want to be pairing with one another and the no-nos, the teams that people are going to be making mistakes. Like if you're going for 49ers, Cowboys are also good because they're not going to play each other until the NFC Championship game. A no-no mistake would be pairing the 49ers with, let's say, the Packers or the Rams. The Rams actually have a pretty decent shot of winning this game. Like we're going to cover some of these spreads today too. It's 3.5-point favorites. The Lions over the Rams. They don't have Laporta versus like Green Bay, 7.5-point underdogs. So if you go Rams, you probably don't want to pair it with 49ers because you're drafting Rams. You're expecting them to win. Are you also expecting the Packers to win? Maybe some people, the true sickos, but that'd put them facing the 49ers the following week. So small stuff like that, which pairings we're making, because obviously we're shooting for the Super Bowl, most important thing. But after that, you want the most live players in the NFC and AFC championship game. Tongue twist. That's gonna be the main focus. And then sort of building out this way. Dolphins over Chiefs could be a little, sneaky, but I don't want to make any super strong. I don't want to make any strong plays like that, like just going Dolphins over Chiefs. I do think this game can go either way, especially Chiefs at home. And it's going to depend on your draft position and who's available at that time, that sort of thing. So it is kind of tough to sort of pre-plan what you're going to do in these draft rooms. You really just want it to come to you. Some quick hellos. Ben in here early. Shock Trauma, Whiteout, Logan. What's going on, fellas? Welcome to the live stream. I can't wait to get into tonight's stream, man. Drafting again feels good. It's like we never stopped because we didn't. It's because we didn't. Some of these games, though, 3.5 or just 3-point favorites for Cleveland. Clearly, this game can go either way. We know Texan Pistons aren't getting scooped up too much. You're seeing Nico go now, but you're not seeing like heavy Houston stacks. It is different. You're seeing Cleveland pieces go every single game as if like they would be 7.5-point favorites. I do think maybe we should be mixing in some Houston pieces, especially in this $5 tournament. Like, what's the hurt? You could have a huge advantage. 44-point total, right? So same exact as this Miami and KC game. All the more that probably should be drafting some Houston pieces at the end of these drafts. That being said, like Steelers, 10-point underdogs. Man, it would take a lot for me to bring in even a single piece Steeler, just because you're basically only going to get one game. Steelers are pretty much a hard fade. But Packers, I know people are bringing in Reed, Watson. This is going to be a tough one for Green Bay away. But the difference being 50.5-point total. So like that one game you're getting out of the Green Bay players, you're expecting them to at least help you advance. I think that's going to be the major difference between Pittsburgh and the Packers. Both pretty big underdogs. LA Rams, Lions, they can go either way. Same thing with the Eagles, Tampa Bay Bucks. We'll sort of see Jalen Hurts look like a little dislocated finger on his throwing hand. He ended up going back in the game, but with AJ Brown, they weren't coming back. So They rest Jalen Hurts. We'll see Devonta Smith, Goddard. They're all in play, but I mean, 3-point underdogs. Would think that this would be more. So those Tampa Bay pieces are some of my favorite pieces at the end of the draft, bringing in, Mike Evans is a riser, but Godwin still goes super late, and he could be, even if you get 1 week and you have the chance to get more, they're the perfect pieces to pair with San Fran. So San Fran getting the 1 seed, right? The Bucks are the 4 spot. So if the Rams could surprise, or the Packers, and let's say the Bucks beat the Eagles, the 49ers would play the Packers or the Rams. So yes, you could go Bucks, and then the favorites could win here, and you could get San Fran versus the Bucks. But I don't know. This Rams game, it feels sneaky. It's gonna be the best game on the slate. Like, that's just the story of, like, Goff and Staffy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, let's jump into one. Let's see how these streets are looking tonight. The Mitten 4, 3 out of 6 advance. 3 out of 6. Josh Allen goes way too late. Let's see what else. I like Lamb. In the 2 spot. You could trick me into Lamb at 1, but not in this contest. Like, we're 3 out of 6 advance. Lamb is the clear 101. I might put Lamar at the 2 just because you're going to be able to advance so many more of these teams. And they are favorites to make it to the Super Bowl, both of these teams. Especially NFC is just an absolute mess right now. It's an absolute mess. Prime time. Welcome to the live stream, man. Josh, what's up? It's the Steelers' best team in the AFC. Ah! Dude, Najee's been balling, man. Najee's been balling. Primetime says, I think Rams beat the Lions. Dude, the Lions, just absolute questionable play calling the last 2 weeks. Playing their starters last week with 4% chance to move up 1 spot. And then, I mean, it's always a risk. You play your starters, there's always a risk that someone goes down. You could honestly, you could put Debo here at the 3 spot. In this contest, the Mitten 4 with 3 out of 6 advancing, it's going to be so much easier to advance these pieces. Let's see. I think I have it up here. So it's going to be 3 out of 6, and then 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10 with the 279 person final, which in this contest, there's always dead teams in the finals. Always dead teams. See Josh Allen go here at 4. I think that's sharp. Like, Josh Allen should be moved up, but in this contest specifically, don't give this guy. Well, Josh Allen, Debo is not even that hard to get because you're typically getting Josh Allen here at 9. So it's like him going Debo at 4. Doesn't mean anything. Probably Diggs here. Probably Diggs. Diggs, and then James Cook, and then we can bring in Dak. That's what I'm looking at right now. We could also go the Kelsey Mahomes side or Rice Mahomes. Could definitely do that too. I'd be curious, what do you guys think is the best way to grab these 3 KC plays? Is it grab both pass catchers and Kelsey and Rice, and then they'll leave Mahomes alone? I've done that, and that seemed to have worked the best because all 3 of them go in the same ADP range. Don't touch Kelsey, in my opinion. If you're planning on them to go to the Super Bowl, though, and you think Mahomes is going to spike into the optimal against the other QB, you have to think that Kelsey's going to play a role in that. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Did someone he sniped Dak? All right, now we have to absolutely pivot. Gross. That's fine. Let's go. We can go Buffalo against the Rams. We can go Buffalo Rams. Pivot here. Dude. This is this is ludicrous. Amari at 11. This guy literally just went rogue. Where's the rogue emoji? The Pounders rogue emoji. This man deserves it. This man deserves it. Oh, now we're just spam clicking buttons. That's wild. That's wild. Welcome to the playoff slate, fellas. These streets are not safe. Could have also gone, I guess, AJ Brown hurts. Let's see. He won't pull in Philly. So Tony Hurd won't pull in Philly pieces. We could do this. Let's see if it's going to depend on this guy. Is he going to bring in a third QB? We can go Philly versus Buffalo too. And then CeeDee Lamb's just an advance rate play. Let's try it. Don't do me dirty like that, Colt. Don't do me dirty like that. This guy, okay. So Philly piece doesn't make sense for Tony. Beautiful. 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 Tell me this team's not advancing 3 out of 6. Now, we probably don't have anyone in the Super Bowl. That is besides the point here. Buffalo has a chance. I mean, they basically have a bye against Pittsburgh. This worked out beautifully. This worked out real nice. All right. So Eagles, the 5 spot. If they win, they're getting the 49ers, unless the Rams or Packers. So let's say the Rams win, you're probably getting Eagles, Cowboys. So that would kind of suck. That would kind of suck for this team. Because then we'd only get 2 games out of Lamb, where we probably want 3. You want these teams to face off in the NFC Championship game for this to make like a ton of sense. And it could happen. It definitely could happen. This could be Dev Smith here. Don't do me dirty, fellas. Don't do me dirty. Quez Watkins having an absolute game. Primetime says Dak has been reached on every single room you've been in. Gross. I drafted some monsters last night. Sick. This is sweet. Even if AJ Brown doesn't play, bring in Devonta Smith here. All these players are playing next week. 3 out of 6 advance. I feel like I'm almost guaranteeing this team to move on. And then you need some pieces to fall in, right? And then you need this dude's got a 1-3-1 build so far. So he's got his 3 San Fran pieces. So he's going to bring in what? He needs to bring in. There it is. I like the likely pick there. And then he goes Cup. I don't understand. This is an advance rate click. Does Miami start to make sense here? Miami, Buffalo wouldn't play each other until Miami could make sense here too. But do we still get Goddard? Let's go Goddard here. I have to think more about that. If I was in streaming, I was more focused. be able to compute that. But Mostert might make sense there. And then we're playing for Philly versus Buffalo or Philly versus Miami. So that probably could have been fine. And Mostert, he's going to play. Like, he's got to be at least probable to play. And that's probably a good advance rate play too. So if Dolphins beat the Chiefs, right? 6 seed is playing the Ravens, so that would make sense. So you get at least 2 games out of Mostert. So we can do the same thing with Waddle here. And I think we do. I think we go ahead and do this. Yeah, Copper Price is saying I always end my drafts with Evans or Reed if I don't like my team. So true. Evans goes relatively early now. This could be Swift too, but we can bring in Gainwell. We got 2 more spots. Drafting the Fallen Hurts feels good, not gonna lie. Philly's an absolute train wreck right now. Could bring in Tua. But then we don't have a running back for this team. Right? Because if Miami makes it in, we only have James Cook. So we're basically sort of planning on this Buffalo versus Philly. That's where if we go Mostert here, it gives us 2 options, which would have been nice. The Miami fade's awesome too. I'm gonna eat that up. I'm gonna absolutely eat that up. Yeah, they lost to Buffalo, but they didn't have Waddle and they didn't have Mostert. What's up, Henny? Says Latavius Murray ADP so low. Where's the Hill team? Tyreek Hill. He has 2 QBs. He shouldn't go another QB. Rohim doesn't need another QB. Solo Josh Allen should be fine. This team should stick with Solo Mahomes, but doesn't have to. We're going to bring in Swift here. This does allow for Philly versus Miami. So this does open it up. Philly versus Miami. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd have 6 pieces. It's Fournette's backfield now. Yeah, for the tush push. Oh, shit. Yeah, Josh is pretty sure Mosert's good to go. This could be a Shakir pick. Yeah, he does bring in a second QB, which I don't love. It doesn't make sense because they're playing each other this week. So you're only getting 1 game out of one of these guys. So that doesn't that is a minus EV play right there. With this team here, Shakir or Gainwell? What do you guys like better? This is an absolute monster of a build. Josh likes Shakir. Could also be a Dallas piece, right? Like we could bring in Tolbert there. No, it can't be a Dallas piece. Dallas piece doesn't make sense. We have Lamb basically just as an advance rate play since Dak got sniped from us. But 3 out of 6 advance, like not overly worried about first round. But this team is built for the next round as well, and the round after that. Buffalo, we're assuming, gets at least 2 games playing Pittsburgh 10-point favorites. So I like the way that one. Julio. Quez Watkins, man, put up a game last week. An absolute game. Logan's in the 1 spot here. We got 1 pounder in this draft, and after that, it's the wild, wild west in here. Oh, dear. Farachi, man, long time. What's up, dude? Welcome to the live stream. We'll see if we get the same start with CeeDee Lamb. It's so hard to, like, change mindsets from tournament to tournament just with the advancer. It's like 3 out of 6. I'm just gonna play this so much more differently. So, like, it's probably like this for me in 3 out of 6. Like, I'm even more willing to bring in Purdy. Like, I don't even love Purdy going this soon in other drafts, but 3 out of 6, like, I'm much more willing to click, like, Purdy Ayuk at the 6 spot or 5 going Purdy, Kittle, whatever. Yeah, Copper Price has said you can for sure go 1 QB with Purdy or Lamar in the structure. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Luke, back from boot camp. He's still working. Hell yeah, I love watching. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for your service, man. We'll go Lamar here at 3. So interesting. They just switch it up on us. They just switch up the script with 3 out of 6. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Numi. Nothing but good ideas coming from them. Kind of hoping for a San Fran piece to come back to us. Obviously not Purdy. This is a Diggs pick, right? Are you not watching the national championship game? We got it running. Farachi says, rough best ball season for me. Already ready to reload for the big board. Oh, let's go. I got saved by my Dalmatian. My Dalmatian finish. Got saved all because CMC doesn't punch that touchdown into the end zone the week prior from the freaking goal line. And then they throw it 3 times. What? It's a weird game we play. Chad, what's going on, man? Congrats on that dub. Congrats on that dub. Want to drop in and say thanks to you and Nick last week. Put me on Ridley and Ingram, who are in my BR lineup this week. Huge news. Once Kirk went down, like Ingram flew up my board. He flew up my board. Sick win. Absolute sick win. So Zay goes. Who do we like here? Kind of leaning James Cook. But then it doesn't make sense. We need to go on the other side of the ball. Let's do something crazy. Let's go Baltimore versus the Rams here with this one. No, it's tough. We can bring in like Gus and shit, but does anyone think the running backs for Baltimore, like if you do get Baltimore versus San Fran, which obviously that's the goal of this matchup, do we love Baltimore's running backs against San Fran's defense? That's kind of my concern. I'm not even worried about Dalvin. Like I think Gus Edwards goes a little too early, but we might need him to make sense of this. Likely we have to bump up. Odell, we have to bump up. Yeah. And he says justice PPR. I don't mind Hill just because he's more explosive. Goes much later. We have to bring in Likely here. Otherwise, this team's kind of dusted. And then we need a Baltimore, San Fran. We go Elijah Mitchell. But we can build this out with Baltimore against San Fran, Baltimore against the Rams. It's going to be the goal for this one. Maybe we just bring in Justice Hill at the end. Gus Edwards goes to Logan. Respect. Respect. He's got CMC and Gus Edwards, Brock Purdy, Rashee Rice. Could be targeting some of the same pieces. Goes Puka. God damn, we're targeting both. We got two teams that we're sharing. That's bold because you know what I'm doing. I'm telling you. All right. Obviously, now we need to bring in some advance rate plays. That's where Cooper Kupp hopefully comes into play. And then Staffy. Logan says, I'm not even looking at YouTube. I just saw that. We're literally building. Oh, shit. I got Baltimore Rams. He's got Baltimore Rams. Brutal. Brutal run out. That's where you do have to be paying attention too, to like who's in front of you, who's behind you. Because I'm going to steal a piece every single time it comes around to me. And then he's going to steal likely two pieces from me. But where I made the first move on the Rams and obviously Baltimore with Lamar, I don't mind the Gus Edwards pick here. I think the Puka pick could have been Odell. And then you're just going advance rate pieces after that. All right, so we do get Kupp. So we're not going to bring in any Detroit pieces with this, with the Rams playing Detroit. Yeah, you want likely. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, Rams, Lions, Cowboys, Rams. So we'd only get 2 games out of a Cowboys piece if we're expecting them to go to the NFC Championship. Pending, obviously, the Packers not beating them. I kind of have to bring in Justice Hill here. Or obviously Elijah Mitchell could be a piece. But I like Justice Hill. He seems like he's going to be more involved rather than Elijah Mitchell. Once it comes to game time, it's CMC. It's a CMC show. All right, let's see if this works. Okay. I know what I want to do. I don't know if they're going to let me do it. 5 picks away. Goff. Yep. Get rid of the QBs. I am going to bring in like a 1-game QB likely with this team. Just because I have so many San Fran and Baltimore pieces. I know it's 3 out of 6 advance, but there's no way this dude snipes me on my pick, right? Like, there's no way. 0% chance. That's good for us. All right, we're bringing in Evans here. Against Philly, give up a shit ton of yards to receivers. And we could go double. We could go Tampa Bay. We can go Godwin with this. And then we can bring in Baker. Staffy off the board. Kind of figured that was coming. And that's why the Evans pick allows us to go 2 separate QBs, Staffy or Baker. Watch Baker get sniped, just like naked bake. Shake and bake. Logan says I messed up. Yeah, so this gives us multiple options, right? So we don't have Philly pieces. So this is, Tampa Bay beats Philly. The Rams beat beat Detroit. So this would give us the most possible players besides the Kittle, besides the San Fran piece, because San Fran would be playing who? San Fran would end up playing the Rams. So it'd either lose Cup and Kyron that week, which is still fine. Still have a shit ton of players for the next week. I like making these bets though. May as well just make the whole bet on, like, when we bring in Evans here, you may as well make the bet on the Tampa Bay offense. Especially because we don't have any Philly pieces. It's like if that does go your way, I mean, they just lost to the Giants, guys. I know they didn't have Devonta Smith. Everyone got injured. You'll be banged up for next week, though. Gonna be banged up. We'll bring in Bake here. So we could push on Baltimore, Lamar, Justice Hill, Kittle, likely Odell. It could be a Baltimore versus the Rams, or it could be Baltimore versus Tampa Bay. And that's where bringing in that Baltimore running back sort of makes sense here. Fun one. Slaughtered by the Giants, Farachi adds. Yeah, it was they put on a show. They put on a show. We'll jump into another one of these. So we didn't get sniped really on any picks. On that one, we probably would have built out the Rams a little more if Logan didn't go that way. But again, we just zigged and zagged there. Absolutely zigged and zagged. Adam, when the gauntlet opened, I drafted CMC, Purdy, Ayuk, Debo Kittle, Allen, Diggs, Cook, Kincaid, and Shakir. Let's go. Did the same with the Bills, but I think those teams are strong. But I also like having a third team. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people did that where they just grabbed the two teams, and that's awesome. It could be fine. 2 out of 6 advance, I think, in the gauntlet, right? It's 2 out of 6 the first round. So you basically need Buffalo to push you through. Some rooms, they're definitely going through. They're definitely going through, pending they don't get absolutely destroyed by Pittsburgh and Najee Harris. Oh, man. We can have another Najee week. That total of that game is just so gross. 35.5 points, and the Bills are the large majority on that. Jesus. Green Bay, Dallas, 51.5 points for Rams, Lions. Game of the week. Lions, game of the week. So sick. We got the 2 spot. Let's build out a Lamb team again. We'll see if we get Dak with this one. Yeah. And he says Najee kills the advance rate. Yeah. That would put a little freaking topper on the top of the cake there. Najee had a great week 17 too. You didn't see a lot about it on the Twitter, at least I didn't. And I wasn't even like super pro or against Najee. I was just there for the banter. Ended up with, I think, like just on advance rate, like just on even exposure. I mean, like 8%. Can even go Kittle here. I would like, no, can't go Kittle there. Diggs or KC pieces. This feels the best to me, to be honest. Dude, there's so many QBs off the board already. Like you I don't think Dak makes it back to us at 23. I just have a really bad feeling. I have a really bad feeling about it. But James Cook also doesn't make it back to us. I think we should risk it. Logan should be going for yeah, so he shouldn't okay, let's try it. Let's try it. I'll tell you why. All right. Logan should be focusing Tua. Doesn't make sense to bring in Dak. This team already has 2 QBs. This team wouldn't bring in Dak because they're already going same side of the board with San Fran. And then Josh Allen should be solo Josh Allen. Right? I mean, right? That's the way it should go. Not saying it's the way it's gonna go. We have Jalen Hurts in the middle, but Jalen Hurts falls. This is just like a smokescreen. This ADP is tanking. Ooh, Mari Cooper at 16. That is the kind of certainty that like I don't think we should have in Cleveland. I like the Cleveland pieces, but I think if you're making that regularly, you're basically saying that they're a large favorite to win that game. If you're doing this on the reg. I don't have that kind of confidence in Cleveland. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it. The cost of Josh Allen at 6, it doesn't make sense to bring in Dak there. You're either going one of the other. Like, here's the difference. There's going to be teams in the Super Bowl that just have Josh Allen, and then they have an extra player, right? So if Josh Allen's the highest scoring player, or you're going to have teams in the Super Bowl with just Dak, because both of these guys are solo QB builds because they're playing every week. And then those Dak teams will have an extra player. So it doesn't make sense to get both of those guys. And now we have to divert, and divert we will. I don't love going this route, but we're freaking probably gonna have to. Could go Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. I don't like that as much. We have 2 Buffalo pieces, which sucks. No, I didn't draft any big ones. Adam asked, did you draft any big mitten team? Nope, not yet. Not yet. Sorry, Logan. KG went rogue on us. KG went rogue. Just because you bring in Tony Pollard doesn't mean you bring in Dak, though. That might actually be a reason to not bring in Dak. You know what I mean? I just can't go. I can't go Dak without Lamb. Like for the large majority, like 92% of the time, my Dak teams will have Lamb. Because how does Dak get there? Yeah, Logan agrees. Logan agrees. You're losing the player against those other teams in the finals. When you stream in BR drafts, yeah, we're gonna do a BR tomorrow. We'll be in the streets tomorrow for Battle Royale. Week 18 was fine. I had one team that really could have made a push with Kenneth Walker having a big game. I basically needed Kenneth Walker to match Breece Hall. That Breece Hall touchdown at the end of the game, I would have probably broke at least even on the slate without that. But yeah, I wasn't heavy on Breece. I had 22% James Conner and building around that. I think one more good drive from the Jags too could have made it interesting. One more good drive at the end because we were heavy on Ridley this week. And obviously Ridley getting outscored by Amon-Ra, and then teams having Jefferson and Amon-Ra because the Amon-Ra fall all week. Detroit just making stances like Detroit not playing their starters for the full game and then being wrong on that. But not only that, Sam Laporta as a big target, big part of this offense, not playing a good amount of the game, leaving with an injury, makes the offense less condensed. And then Amon-Ra gets there because of it. So it freaking double hurt. It literally double hurt. Adam says I had 60% Mike Evans. I took a stance on AJ Brown too, just because no Devonta Smith. This worked out fucking perfect. This worked out real good. It's not completely terrible having Buffalo and the Dolphins, right? If the Dolphins advance, they're going to be playing the Ravens, Bills. So like we shouldn't see the Bills would get the winner of the Browns and the Texans. We should get, maximum playing time out of these players with the way we have it. The way we have this thing scripted. Obviously Miami advancing. But we're not going to bring in another Buffalo piece. Gross. Gross. We can go Cup here. That Dak snipe. KG says, yeah, I mean, I ran out of time on Pollard and Dak side. I was kind of like an oh shit pick. It happens. It happens. Justice Hill 39 to go with Lamar likely. Okay, so he's got the LA Rams thing going on too. KC versus Baltimore makes sense because he would get. Yeah, that makes sense. You want to try to get as many players in that conference championship round as possible, right? Obviously Super Bowl and then the NFC AFC championship game. You want as many live players as possible. You don't want to have to pull in a shit ton of teams in the same conference that are going to play each other after 1 week. If you're going to do it, you want them to at least be playing each other in the AFC or NFC championship game. So like oddly enough, this works where we have the Rams Cowboys piece, like one of them's going to be RIP. We'd get 2 games out of them, but one of them is going to be sacrifice. Oh, this one's pain, but you have to be ready to sort of zig and zag on these. And we took a risk. Now, I think that's a smart risk. Just with the way this was landscaped out, it makes sense to go James Cook first there. It's the only way. You're not going Dak here hoping to get James Cook back. It's the only way it could have happened. Demarcus Robinson is in play, but then we're basically saying we have to pick a side. Like, are we going Dallas or are we going Rams, basically? And Dallas would be like Tolbert. Let's go Rams. Rams make a run. And let's bring in like Higbee or Tutu. I'm cool, like, with this team advancing next week. I'm completely comfortable with 3 out of 6 advancing. Having James Cook, Mostert, Lamb, like, this is fine. So now we're just grabbing pieces in this game, basically. We'll go Cedric Wilson next. And we'll grab one of these 2 pieces because these are going to be free. Cedric Wilson actually could have been drafted. Now we're just focusing that Super Bowl where we're getting like that weird combination of players. And if the Rams weren't going to play, so if the Rams win, Cowboys win, if they weren't going to be, oh no, the Rams would be playing the 49ers. So we can stack up. This makes perfect sense. So like Rams would play 49ers. Rams beat the 49ers. They move up here. Cowboys played the Eagles or the Bucks because they would get the next lowest seed here. So we actually do get the maximum amount of games out of both sides. So this team, oddly enough, makes a shit ton of sense. If it all falls perfectly with the players we drafted winning their games, all 4 of these teams could be in the AFC and NFC championship games, having the maximum amount of players live. Be pretty cool. And again, 1 out of 10 advance after round 1. Let's pull up. If you guys haven't already, go down, slap the like on the live stream, subscribe to the channel. Yes, you have to log into your YouTube account, but guess what? You can also slap the like. So that's such a good deal. Let me pull up the snaps for the Rams. I'm sort of curious on Tutu here. Oh shit. Well, because Cup didn't play and Puka only played 43% of snaps, so he could get that rookie title. You see Tutu play 93%, but before that, only getting 6% back-to-back weeks. So he's been phased out. So we would definitely go Higbee here. And Higbee goes 1 pick before us. Oh my God. We'll go Tolbert. James Cook in this scenario is just an advanced rate play. But Buffalo won't play Miami next week. If Miami wins and Buffalo wins, right? 2 seed, 6 seed. 6 seed plays the 1 seed. The winner of the 4 and 5 play Buffalo. So we get the maximum amount of playing time out of the Dolphins and Buffalo pieces. And then same thing over here with the Rams and Cowboys. Rams win, Packers lose. Rams play the 49ers. The Cowboys would play the winner of the Eagles and Bucks, and then we would get Cowboys versus the Rams when the Rams beat the 49ers. Interesting draft. Little zig and a zag. It takes a little bit of mentally breaking down the slate, but also having just a visual helps me in my small brain be able to compute this stuff on the drive. We get the 4 spot. We're just not going to get the 1 spot tonight, and that's fine. I need you guys to at least see that it happens. It happens to me. It happens to me. Doc, welcome to the live stream. What do you think about Dak with Cook pick and just taking Fat Lenny with the last pick? Like Dalvin Cook? I don't love playing the Dallas side on the ground. Dallas doesn't like playing the Dallas side on the ground. So like if I'm going Dallas, I'm going to focus their pass catchers, especially with the amount that Dak throws in the red zone. I'd rather play it that way and then grab the running back from the other side. Playoff Lenny. Here, I got you. We'll drop this link. This link can also be found in the Discord right here under cheat sheet section. We'll throw it up again. If you're not already in the Discord, link will be in the description as well as the comments. Let's go. We're going Debo here for. Let's go. Get the build out the Debo side. We would like Purdy, Ayuk, or Kittle, which should be relatively easy to get. Little San Fran, Miami. Josh Allen goes at 5. Yeah, it's so nice just to have this up and be able to see the seating and all that. I can zoom into this too. People's eyes have been straining. We'll give everyone a little break here. Purdy goes. It's got to be with Ayuk or Kittle. I would have liked Ayuk. Let's do this. I know Hill's been falling. I got Hill at like 15 earlier today. But we'll take him at 9 with Debo. We'll take him off your hands. These rooms are lawless, though. Not a lot of badge people playing. Doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. If they're consuming content, you don't need a shit ton of drafts. Just take someone that's a little bit of knowledge, like Lamb with Flowers. I like that start. Let's see if he goes Dak here. So, I'm going to risk this at pick 2 all the time. I'm not going to go Dak until 23 when I'm at pick 2, especially when the run out's this Lamar versus Kittle, right? If you go Dak, you don't need to. People should understand it's 3 out of 6 advance. You don't need to. Now, I don't think AJ Brown makes a ton of sense. If the Rams win, you'll get Cowboys versus Eagles if the Rams win. Rice off the board, and we are going probably Mostert here. Mostert, Waddle, Achane, Tua. Let me see earlier. I posted a team in the currently drafting section, I believe. And if you guys are in the Discord, just throwing up your drafts or currently drafting, if there's 3, you need 3 people for the $250 draft, just post in here and you're likely to get some people to respond. This team from earlier, Purdy at 10 with Debo and Kittle. This one felt good. We also bring in the Cleveland pieces and Buffalo, giving us a ton of options. Obviously, we need Cleveland versus San Fran for this one with Ford, James Cook, the Buffalo pieces being advanced rate plays. We're going Waddle here or Tua? I mean, no one should bring in naked Tua, right? No one should bring in naked Tua. You can probably go Tua there, but we'll risk it. There is one QB in front too. And the 2 spot should be bringing in Hurts. Too cool, Rad. Welcome to the live stream, man. Says let's rock out with our. Don't say it. Doc says no. Instead of taking James Cook, like in that last draft, take Dak and Lenny late. Yeah, that's fine. That 100%. You could be leveraging week 17, but someone's probably going to have. Lenny's a free piece, right? If you have that much trust in Lenny that he's going to have a spike week, maybe, Diggs goes out on the goal line twice or whatever it may be, and they bring in playoff Lenny to try to punch it in for 1 yard. But they did it before, and Lenny couldn't get that yard. So I don't have a ton of trust that Lenny's gonna get it done. Logan says, okay, I'm in a different draft and we have the same team. I swear you bugged my phone. But are you copying me? 5%. All right. We're not messing around anymore. We're not messing around anymore. This guy's going to steal Tua from me. I can feel it. He doesn't have a QB. That would have been terrible. That would have been terrible. I do want HN here pretty freaking bad. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. Do we? Do we do it? Do we complete it? Come on, Brax. If not, we could go. Rams don't make a ton of sense. So I'm glad he actually pulled them off our hands. San Fran and Rams don't gel, right? Like if you can stay away from San Fran and Rams, especially in this contest where the first round is the easiest one to get out of, right? 3 out of 6. The next 2 rounds are 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. So you want the most available players. The Rams win. I mean, can the Packers beat Cowboys and play 49ers? Sure, but game of math. This is the world of math, right? Rams are likely going to be playing 49ers next week, and you're going to lose a piece. So teams that gel the best with the Dolphins are basically anyone but the Ravens. If they win, they'll play the Ravens. And then the Bills pair really well with the Dolphins. The Bills pair really well with the Dolphins. I'm currently drafting Kincaid in front of Gabe Davis. I don't know if you guys think that's egregious, let me know. But this is sort of the way I'm treating these two right now. PCL sprain, could miss a week, could miss 2 weeks. I think you can still, like, Gabe Davis is still draftable. I just think he should go after Kincaid. It is nice. Like when we have the Miami pieces, yeah, you should typically stay on the other side of the board. But where we're going to get, if we get the run out, which we expect, like Buffalo beating the Steelers, Dolphins beating the Chiefs, Dolphins playing the Ravens, they beat the Ravens, like getting 3 games out of Kincaid. Yeah, so Ferguson goes. That's fine. Odell doesn't make sense for the squad. We can go Godwin, or we can go Philly pieces. Let's bring in Godwin. Such a weird inkling that Tampa Bay beats Philly this week. Could also bring in Shakir next. That could have been a Shakir pick too. But I don't want to bring in too many pieces on the same side. It's like where our focus is Miami and Tua. I want to focus NFC. And I'm cool with just getting a one-off piece like Chris Godwin. We could bring in like someone with Trey Palmer who's not getting drafted. We can go on the Buffalo side. Obviously, not Buffalo side. San Fran. Juwan Jennings is in play. Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell. Did he score a touchdown with none of the starters playing? Let me pull up. Let's pull up the San Fran. Let's see. So Ronnie Bell getting like during the season around 10%, around 10 to 12% snaps. Raymond McLeod playing none the last 5 weeks. Jawan Jennings getting around 33, 40%. So he's obviously Jawan Jennings goes. He gets drafted a lot, though. It makes sense. Detroit. What do we have? Do we have 2 picks left? Shakir doesn't make sense. We have 2 picks left. This is just going to be advanced rate play. We don't have any Rams, so this is just Detroit beat the Rams. We get 2 games out of JMO. If Detroit wins and Tampa Bay wins, you will have the Bucks against the 49ers. So like we're gonna lose a player no matter what with San Fran, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. But advance rate wise, out of the first round, having Tua, Mostert, Achane, Hill, Waddle, Kincaid, Godwin, JMO is fine. I think this team needs something freaking crazy like this. Cedric Wilson didn't get drafted yet. It's gotta be Cedric. We gotta go Ced here. We gotta go Ced here. So this is Miami against San Fran, Miami against Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Detroit. Literally, you can't play Buffalo. Miami versus San Fran, Tampa Bay, Detroit. Most of the pieces being on the Miami side. I didn't love that one. Not gonna lie, I didn't love that one. But you have to try different stuff. If you're new to these and you want to jump in, they have a $3 draft. Curious what the advance rates for this one are because they're different in every contest. It's going to be 2. So 2 out of 6. And then 2 out of 10. No. 2 out of 10. Yeah. Okay. Then 1 out of 10. That's an interesting structure too. So 2 out of 6, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10 instead of 3 out of 6, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. So funny. Each one you should check and sort of know, what you're up against because are you going to pull in those 1 game or 2 game type hopefuls like Mike Evans? But if you're bringing in Mike Evans, I strongly think you should be bringing in Godwin and you should be playing like they win 2 games or at least 1 game, at least beating Philly and then they get 2 games. I think that's fine. But yeah, the 3 out of 6, we didn't do it tonight, but you can go just Purdy, you can go just Lamar and advance a team. 3 out of 6. And you collect your advance rates at the top of each card now. I love that. I'm looking. Tournament rounds for I don't see it. I don't see it. Am I just blind? Okay, right here. 2 out of 6, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10. That's sick. I love that. I absolutely love that. It's such a small quality of life thing, but it makes a huge difference that you don't have to go in here, click the rules, and then go like read through. So that's sick. That's awesome. 248 seat final. Let's pull up some of these. The Big Mitten, 2 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, 10 seat final. the little gauntlet, which is a $50 entry, just a smaller field, 2 out of 6, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, 50-seat final. And then the one we drafted was the Mitten 4, which was 3 out of 6, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. Really nice. Really cool that Underdog just continues to make these quality of life things that they do make a difference, and it does show that they care and they're listening and they're open to just improving their product, which is so sick. Um, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow, we're gonna be doing a battle royale stream the first week of playoffs, dude. Those slates are so much fun. So if you guys aren't into the battle royales, try a couple because it just makes watching the game so much more fun too. But appreciate everyone coming out, watching the live stream. Slap a like on the way out if you enjoyed tonight's stream. Leave a comment and subscribe. We'll catch you tomorrow. Pounders.